Welcome to the Impactful Engineer Project. I'm Steve Maxey, and with my co-host and brother Jake, we are here to bring you guidance, fresh ideas, and the tools to help you become an impactful engineer. Engineers don't fail because they lack technical skill. They fail because they never learn how to lead, communicate, and take ownership. This is the Impactful Engineer. We give you the blueprint for career excellence and not textbook answers. I'm Steve Maxey, a senior manager in product development, and I'm here with my brother Jake, owner and principal engineer at NLS Engineering. If you're done with the status quo and ready to take control of your career, then you're listening to the right show. Hello, Jacob.
What's going on, man?
What's going, man?
Like, my super hyped nature or I guess mood right now might show through in this episode.
Beautiful.
I'm like, dude, I'm straight off of doing some engineering while rocking out to Hell Yeah. And, and some of those songs, man, will get me going. Yeah, it's that super metal group from, forever ago, with all the favorites as we were growing up. You know? But yeah, I'm just fucking pumped. I'm ready to destroy.
When I've been driving to work, it's been like early Slipknot, earlier Korn stuff. That's been my jam the past few weeks. Just been I feel like I'm in high school again.
Turn it up. Turn it up. You ever want to change your mood? You just got to put on your favorite thing that gets you hyped up and just blast it.
Yeah.
Have your iPhone tell you that it's been too loud for too long and you go, nope.
More
is necessary. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Just some quick housekeeping. I'll just run it through it real quick. Our primary episode type is Jake and I, or Jake or I, get on here and we'll just dive into a singular topic that we feel is critically important of the day, that we believe will immediately make an impact to your career as long as you consider it, follow it how you may, but apply the principle in general. And we're here to inspire specific actions to make you win. The other type of episode is guest episodes, right? It's our long format where we bring on a guest or maybe two or three, and we dive into their backgrounds a little bit and find like where they can bring the most value to you, our listeners, and on how we can change your mindset, your perspective on your careers, and take actionable tips around their area of genius. So those are our episode types. And today is just me and Jake riff-raffing.
Like always. We were going good before we hit record.
I know. So hopefully we can bring the same fire.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, I can tone it down just a little bit because I don't want to scare people away. So
yeah. So scary. All right. So today let's talk a little bit about accountability, right? I've got this question a lot before is how do I hold people accountable? We've touched on this before a little bit, but let's just start out with, the first thing we got to do is we have to make sure we're setting expectations immediately, right? Whenever we're engaging, whether it's a coworker, a peer, a supplier, a vendor, et cetera, right? We got to communicate our expectations of what they're delivering at the get-go, because if we don't do that, then how the hell are we going to hold them accountable?
And written, not verbal.
Yes.
Written and verbal, but the most important part is written, and often.
Yes.
In everything.
It's got to be front and center all the time.
In
top
updates,
of mind.
In the contract, in everything.
Yep. And a lot of times you will set a new expectation along the way, right? And it will be verbal. You'll be in a meeting or some phone call or conversation in person, whatever, and you will have this new thing that needs to be delivered. You'll insert expectation, follow up with an email and say, hey, had a great meeting. These are the action items that I took from the meeting. Can you make sure you confirm that we're aligned on these bullet points?
Solicit a response. They shall respond. right? They have to respond.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to respond on this to confirm, right? You can't just like send it out to the ether and expect it to be gospel. They have to confirm.
Yep. And they'll think it's a pain in the ass, and that's perfect. You'll know you're doing it right.
Exactly. So now let's get to the meat and potatoes of the conversation, right? You set those expectations to whomever you're working with. The deadline approaches, right? Let's start here. The deadline is approaching. What do? You check in and you say, hey, are we on track to meet this deadline? Right? I've been in so many cases where the situation is the deadline already has passed, or it's the deadline date. And they're like, hey, do you have this for me? And they're like, oh no, we forgot, or oh no, we had a delay 2 weeks ago. It's like, well, great. Now you're on the deadline and you have no way to fucking pivot.
Yep.
But if the deadline is in 2 weeks from now, you verify that they're still on track and say, no, we just hit a delay or a pivot. Now it's going to be another 2 weeks or whatever it is. Well, now you just saved yourself 2 weeks because now you can pivot. You can, make a judgment call. You can truncate the expectation, like whatever is required for you to be successful in your overall project.
Yep.
So,
because you'll never hit everything and you'll never know what they're going through. Mm-hmm. And it's always a conversation. What's really great is to cut somebody a check, tell them the outcome you want, and then you say nothing until the day it's due and it's there. That's the ideal.
And right? It never happens.
Earlier. They're like, hey, look, we finished earlier. Here it is. That's the ideal scenario. It can happen very rarely. And if you're a business owner, or like if you're just in your career, whatever position you're in, you should aim to do that so that nothing needs to be said and that it's just finished.
Yeah, your reputation
on time
will be through the roof.
Earlier. Yeah. Then there's do nothing else and you're going to have a great time. But that rarely ever happens. So the defense against that, or the proper best practice that will be good for you and them, is to follow up, set the expectation. And if you see something happen that could cause a delay, that has caused you delays in the past, you can get ahead of it by communicating that. Hey, saw this happen. What's happening on your end? Sometimes these things cause delays. Let me know if this is one of those instances today, not tomorrow. Don't think about it. Don't take your time. Tell me today whether this is going to influence the timeline or not. And if they don't respond, right, you have set, I just did this the other day. You set the expectation for the expectation to respond. Like you have to do it in the beginning. So I just did this it was 6 weeks ago, but we started a project. We all know it's going to be fast. It's a big project. Engineering work does not move. Architecture and engineering work does not move on 6-week timelines for an entire 3-building campus. Okay. But it was what was required. So when I led the MEP team through it and I get on the horn with our client and all the other players on the job, I set the expectation in the kickoff meeting that within 72 hours, responses shall be given for questions asked within 72 hours. If you're not going to meet the 72-hour turnaround, you're going to tell us on day 2 why you can't meet it and what you need to solve it. And that's going to give me the chance to manage this, not just wait, miss it, wonder why, and then it snowballs out of control.
Yeah. Yeah. How I like to phrase this is anchoring the expectation, right? So instead of saying, hey, when can you get this done? Right now, you're giving them the power to anchor the expectation.
You never want to do that.
Yeah. You say, hey, can you get this done in 72 hours? That is when I need it. Right. Or can you get this done on Monday, the X date? That's when I have to have it to be successful here.
Yep.
Right. Anchor that expectation now and don't give that authority to whoever you're working with.
Hey, my fellow impactful engineers, if there's one thing that you could do to help out this community, it's to keep listening to the podcast, but also that if you found value in it, to share it with one person, give us a 5-star review, or even leave a text review. It'll only take a few seconds of your time. Find that person that you think could enjoy some of this or learn from it, and pass on the good word. Now back to the show. That's right. And they should respond accordingly within an hour or whatever of you sending that email. And you tell them that.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, after that meeting, sent a detailed follow up with all the expectations written down and told them to, if they disagree, reply. If they agree, reply. Right? So you're building that accountability. That's what the episode's about. The entire chain during the entire. You're holding the accountability on a 6-week timeline at 5 weeks and a few days. You're still hammering the message. 72 hours for returned comments. 48 hours for critical urgent path, critical path items. 24-hour communication turnarounds for any email, asking any question or not. It should be received, confirmed. We've got it. No delays as part of, based on the information we received, no delays. Continuing on track. This is a must. This is a must, and not a lot of people do that. But if you're going to be successful in a very short timeline with a lot of players, a lot of hands in the pot, and things that need to happen, you have to set those expectations, or just watch it blow up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And here's another thing: it could seem or appear that nobody cares, right? Because they've been so jaded by the whole industry, and it's just kind of an accepted thing. Like, oh yeah, we said 6 weeks, and it's just, we already know MEP engineers. We already know how this is going to go. The junior staff's going to be on it, and then it's going to be up to the deadline, and then the principal's finally looking at it, and then they got to change a million things, and then it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks longer, and blah, blah, blah. They just kind of know, because that's what happens to a lot of people in my industry. And you could just lean on that and say, yeah, 6 weeks, great. Yeah, we'll see, and then it just goes over and over it. And that's an industry expectation. So you're fine with that. But I'll tell you, if you want to be just like everybody else, do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be one of the top that gets paid good money and is reliable and is trusted and will be handed the next job.
Great thing. Yeah.
Do what we're telling you to do in this episode.
Yeah.
It'll make a huge difference. And your competition is very, very narrow when you act this way.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. You'll be in the top 2% maybe.
Yep.
So, okay. So now we're getting to the deadline and they missed it. What now, Jake?
And you're just relying on somebody else to give you information. This is the context. They missed it.
No, you even followed up and they were like, yep, we are on track. We're good to go, blah, blah, blah. And then now we hit the deadline and they're like, ooh, actually, we're going to be 2 weeks late.
The message the same day. Yeah. Oh, in 2 weeks? Damn.
Yeah. So we got a 2-week delay on the day of the deliverable. Yep. What do we do?
Well, you got to finish the job. So you do what is required to finish immediately. Mm-hmm. Damage control, all these things.
Yep.
When it's over, then your entire conversation is going to be, what happened? How do we handle it in the future? You knew the expectations, right? They're just going to have to be the kind of company or the kind of person that meets your requirements for, and you're holding them accountable.
Mm-hmm.
They just have to. So what's great about holding them accountable this whole time, communicating regularly, and doing all of these things, is that you get to, the conversation's really easy. Either you meet the expectation and we continue working together, or you don't and we don't work together.
Yeah.
That's it. It's the easiest conversation in the world.
Yeah. And guess what, folks? People are motivated by money, right? And if you don't want to work with them, they're not going to work, or they're not going to make money. I mean,
correct.
It's end of story.
Yeah. And then you'll get the person every once in a while that's just like, it's unreasonable. Well, where was this unreasonableness the entire time?
Yeah.
Right. Which is not a conversation I like to have. I'm just making that observation. I wouldn't say that to them. It gets you nowhere, right? There's no reason to tell them that. If you said, well, where was this urgency the whole time? If you knew it was going to blow up, why didn't you tell me? Blah, blah, blah. You could say all those words. They don't care.
Yeah. And
the only response you're going to get is a bunch of excuses and attempt to justify why they were late, which doesn't help anything anyway. So you might as well skip that entire conversation.
Really, it's like, what are you going to do to ensure that this doesn't happen again? Right.
Right. If you're giving them another chance.
Yeah. Well, at least for the remaining of the project, because they have the rest of that project to
assuming
prove
we were done with the project.
Oh, no, I got you. Yeah. So say this is a middle milestone, right? Now you have to be like, okay, do you need to hire more people? Do you need to reprioritize, some action items to have a better waterfall timeline, whatever? Like what is required for us to not do this again? And then just do that.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to meet these expectations.
Yep.
So do what is required to do that.
Yep. And just keep your scorecard too on your end. Do they hit deadlines? 3 out of 5. When it's crunch time, are they responsive? Score 1 through 5. You're just going to keep a scorecard of this vendor or whoever it is.
Yeah.
And let the math do the talking. They're late. They don't communicate under pressure. There's no urgency. So you're keeping the scorecard the whole time. And when the job's done, you weigh the scorecard and you go, I don't like the scorecard. And then you just factually tell them you were late here, you didn't communicate like I told you to, blah 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 blah, and you lay it all out on the next job because we're going to do another one together. You're going to increase your communication under pressure. You're going to respond to what I ask you to respond to. You're going to meet all the expectations, right? And we're going to do what is required to meet those things. That's up to you. If there's something I can do to help you, then let's talk about it. And then you can open up for further discussion to do the next job. But just you do the same thing. You set the expectations. Do they meet them or not? You keep the scorecard. There's no emotion in it. There's just is or isn't, right? And then you decide, do I keep using this person or not? And they can have all the feelings they want about why and how you're unreasonable. They'll probably try to turn it around on you. Sometimes if you get in this position, they could turn it around and say, well, nobody expects that, but you do. And you need to hold
you
the
signed
line.
up for it at the beginning of the project because I set these expectations.
Right. And it doesn't matter how they feel about your expectations and that they're too tough.
Yeah, well, they should have said something at the beginning, right?
Sure. But you just need to hold the line.
Absolutely.
And say, yes, my expectations are unreasonable, and it's unreasonable for me to ask you to meet them. So I'm going to go get somebody else. That's it.
Yeah. I think it is important to say that, we're being very direct in this episode, which you need to be direct. However, you still need to show respect when you're having these conversations.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that's why
don't be an asshole.
That's why removing emotion from it is the key. The conversation, and I'm not good at having the conversations and keeping the emotion out of it. I get pretty hot and excited real quick and then I'll say something that's stupid. And then I end up having to apologize for it. What's great about the scorecard is you can just send an objective measure of how the project went. It was due this day, you missed it. There's no emotion in that. It just is. Right? We said in the beginning that if there was an urgent matter and we put urgent in the subject line, that email shall be responded to within 48 hours from the sending of that email. You didn't do it. Not because I said before, right? Oh, they're not, when I was scoring them, they're not responsive under pressure. What does that mean? It means that urgent emails are supposed to be responded to in 48 hours and they missed it. That's what that means. That's an objective measure of their performance. So yes, you bring up a very good point, and it needed to be said, especially if there's someone that has the natural tendencies that I do listening to this episode.
Yep.
Keep it very objective. Keep all the emotion with discussions with yourself and your peers and whoever you're working with. Never let it bleed over into the other person that you had drawn the expectations for sure.
Yeah.
Very good point.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of goes along the lines of, never insult the person, just criticize the behavior.
That's right. Critique,
what I mean?
Don't insult.
Yes.
That's very true.
So,
yep. It's hard to do.
It is, especially in the heat of the moment when you're amped up because shit wasn't done. Right.
Yeah.
So,
and I've been on the receiving end of emotional outbursts so many times. And I can tell you my only response is that I want to throw that person out the window. So how is that helpful? It's not. So
counterproductive.
It is very counterproductive. So.
Another thing I do want to touch on this is since we are in the realm of reasons, right? Why something wasn't met is don't ever offer excuses to, like, let's just say a vendor, right? Never offer excuses to the vendor or to who you're reporting about the vendor of why they didn't meet the expectations. Just focus on that the expectation was not met. And then now how can we meet it moving forward? Right? Don't say, oh, they, did this and this earthquake happened and, an asteroid came down and hit the owner's mom and blah, 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 blah. Just don't at all. Focus only on they did not meet this expectation. They did not communicate anything ahead of time. They told me the day it was supposed to be delivered. We are figuring out why or how we can prevent this from happening again moving forward,
Yeah.
right?
Because holding people accountable it takes a very strong and secure position, um, not an overbearing position, just a strong foundational position. And as soon as you start giving excuses to people, well, this thing came in and I saw it, and usually that makes it harder to do the job. So I understand why it was getting hard a little bit, to the line, and you were like, oh, do I say something now? I've been there too. As soon as you start saying all that stuff, all you're doing is cracking the foundation. You're just
you're
introducing,
relinquishing authority is what you're doing.
yeah, you're
You're just giving
relinquishing
it up.
authority. You're allowing blame, like on external circumstances, to enter the room, which never helps anything.
Mm-hmm.
It just dilutes your power to do what is required to fix it. So, yes, stick to the hold the line
Mm-hmm.
on the objective facts that expectations were not met.
Yep. And then you can get into
Let them
productive.
speak.
Yeah. And you can get into productive conversations of how you can make up the time, right? From that point, because you're just being very objective. So you can go, okay, we missed this goal. A, how can we prevent it from happening again? Right? Do you need to hire people? Do you need to, et cetera, whatever? And B, how can we pull back some time in some other elements that we may have added a little buffer? Can we do a little less testing over here because we just wanted to be real comfortable with everything? Can we, maybe hire an outside firm to do the drawings rather than us doing them? Like, is there something that we can do to pull in that schedule just a little bit to make up for this delay? And then your overall deliverable will still be on time. And that's the ultimate goal.
And what I'm learning, Steve, because I use a lot of contractors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's my whole business model. When you can try to help them too much with their own business. There's some folks that just can't meet your expectations, and you have to just move on.
I was just about to say, that's when you need to fire whoever you're working with, right? Like, yes. I'm firing this vendor. I'm firing this supplier.
Keep it in mind. Just keep it in mind.
Absolutely.
I would say from my own experience that perhaps it could be on too long of a timeline to try and help them help you. There's
Absolutely.
It's just the way it is. They operate at a different level, and they're okay with that.
Yeah. And I think you'll find that out when you're having those initial conversations of how do we fix this moving forward? Because it'll be really apparent. Some contractors, vendors, suppliers, whatever, are going to just be like, well, that's just the way it is. All right, you're fired, right? Others are like, yes, we really want this business. We will do what it takes to make it happen. Like, you can see the fire in their eyes about making their business better, their projects better, etc. Because I've seen, a supplier that you initially engage with be pretty terrible, but then you essentially co-develop them and elevate them up to your expectations, and then they're an amazing supplier at that point, right? They know exactly what you want, they will deliver, and they will just keep cranking out projects for you exactly how you expect them to be cranked out, and then it's a great relationship. But it did take some development effort on your part, right, to work with them to get to that point.
Yep.
And so, there's some nuance there. It's not just they didn't perform, fired. You can't just jump to that conclusion immediately.
Right.
It's all right.
You don't have the data.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not just like how long they take to develop, but it's like, what is their inner desire? Like, do they want to be better? Right. If you can find that out quickly, then the decision is really easy at that point. Yeah. Then it moves on to, are they capable of improving? Right. So first it's, are they willing? Right. No, later, gone. Right. Yes. Okay. Next stage. Are you capable of improving? Yes. All right. Let's do it. No. All right. Later.
Yeah. There's degrees to this, of course, and it depends on the situation too.
Yeah.
What I would look at it is, can my business afford to wait for you to get better?
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's
one filter.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
and that's why this is a fluid conversation with who you're working with.
Yeah.
But the conversation needs to happen. You can't just let constant delays happen because it's just the way things are.
And very much so, they could be the person you need a few years down the road. Mm-hmm. Very much so. You're not saying that this is where emotion comes in. It's like, we're not saying that they're terrible people and that their companies are trash. It's that they're not the fit right now for the goals that you have. Like, do you have 5 years to work together and figure it out, or do you have 6 months? So if it's 6 months, you need the person that already has it all figured out. If it's 5 years, then you can build a great strategic relationship if you so desire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Data is a good thing to have. So I love those scorecards because you can have 10 projects that have been done at a certain level. Because where I'm at in my business, like, I can't just go out and win huge infrastructure projects. I can't just go out and win a data center. I can't go out and win a huge water treatment plant. I can't do that, right? So I'm working in other areas. Okay, and there are certain levels of expertise and business acumen that I need right now, and that I am also fit within. So I can't, but if I don't have 10 projects with someone and have taken the time to build the data to know how they perform under what scenarios, rush time, intelligence, ability to improve, whether they hold construction costs in mind while they design, or do they wait until the VE period and they don't care? Do they respond after permit has been sent? After stamp drawings have been sent? Do they just wash their hands and walk away, or are they still responsive? So you keep all of these things as a scorecard so that when your business is ready to take the next leap, you know who to bring with you, right? It's very important. It's not that if you choose to not bring someone with you, that they're terrible. It's just that they don't fit with your ambitions and where you want to go next. So it's kind of the same thing when you're evaluating vendor partners and you're trying to set expectations and weigh it against them to see if you should use them again. It's this whole living and breathing world that you need to consider in all of that. But I think we hit the zoomed in accountability piece within that whole larger structure.
Yep. Yeah. And I think we hit it all, but if we didn't, reach out to us. You can send an email, right, to questions@impactfulengineer.com. Yes, it is still active, Jake. This week, when you're hearing this episode, we will be doing daily posts about the content on LinkedIn under the Impactful Engineer LinkedIn profile. So you can engage with us there too. Ask a question, or you could also say, hey, I have this specific issue with accountability that you guys really didn't touch on. Can you touch on it on another episode, or can you just answer here? So, but other than that, if you did learn something today or think someone else needs to hear this perspective that we share, please share the show. It's the best way that we can continue to grow this podcast and create value and impact for the engineering community.